Hello guys, today I'll be reviewing the new 3 Days Grace album, Explosions. And after I reviewed their other albums on my channel, so if you haven't seen those reviews already, definitely check them out after this review. But yeah, 3 Days Grace, one of the first bands that I ever got into at a young age. I became a fan when they only had 3 albums, so it has been pretty interesting to see how the band has evolved over time, especially when it comes to the transition from going from Adam to Matt. But yeah, let's go ahead and dive into the album. The album starts off with So-Called Life, which was the first single, and it's honestly probably at this point my favorite of the singles. Riff-wise, I dig the song. I especially dig the heavy riffs and the verses. But then you have the chorus, which I'll be honest, is probably the weakest part of the song for me. I mean, if you really dig the chorus, more power to you. I definitely have no problem or issue with that. But for me, the chorus to So-Called Life is kind of just average to me, but again, not bad. But yeah, overall, I like So-Called Life, and overall, not a bad way to open up the album. But then the album moves on to I Am the Weapon, and rhythmically, a pretty catchy song, but kind of like with So-Called Life, I think the chorus to this song is kind of just average, to be honest. For me, not one of their better choruses, but it's alright. But everything around the chorus, pretty dang good, because again, ultimately at the end of the day, I think this is a rhythmically pretty catchy song, I'd say. Let's go ahead and move on to the next song, Neurotic, featuring Lucas Rossi. And I did review this song on my channel, and I still think the song is just okay. For me, the song hasn't had much staying power, and the replay value just hasn't been quite there for me. I mean, decent chorus. I mean, I'd say I like the chorus to this song more than the chorus to I Am the Weapon, but that's not really saying much. But when it comes to Lucas Rossi, I mean, he has a decent voice, but his vocal performance in this song didn't really leave much of a lasting impression on me, to be honest. But Neurotic is overall, I'd say, is still just an okay song for me. But we'll go ahead and move on to the next song, Lifetime, which was the third single, and the song lyrically deals with loss and just trying to push forward, and it's a bit of a more melodic song. And I didn't review this one, but I'll be honest, I think the song is just kind of just okay. The song didn't really move me all that much. I find it just to be just kind of just okay. I mean, it has decent melody. It's just that the song didn't really leave much of a mark on me. Didn't really have much staying power with me. It's just kind of just there for me. But again, not a bad song. There are good things about it, but for me, I just don't see myself returning to this song as much as some of their other songs. But again, a decent track. But let's go ahead and move on to the next song, A Scar Is Born. And this might be my favorite song on the album. Might have my favorite chorus on the album. The chorus of the song really sold me on the song. I mean, the verses were cool. I liked them, but the chorus really sold me. I think overall, probably easily one of the best songs on the album for me, and maybe my favorite on the album. But let's go ahead and move on to the next song, Souvenirs. So for the first minute, 25 seconds, minute and a half or so, musically feels a bit different, but still feels like 3 Days Grace. Kind of made me think of Love Me or Leave Me from their last album, Outsider. Maybe it doesn't musically sound like it, but it kind of made me think of that song a little bit. But then, of course, after the first minute and a half, it goes back to kind of what we expect from 3 Days Grace. And overall, it's an okay song. It's just, I mean, it didn't really leave much of a lasting impression on me. I mean, it's a decent song. It's just, I don't know. I just don't see the replay value for the song being all that strong for me personally. But again, it's an okay song. But then we get to the next song, No Tomorrow, which is probably one of their most, I'll be honest, I think this might be one of their most average songs. I mean, the song, in my opinion, didn't really do enough to really stand out or really do enough to really I guess, stick with me, if you know what I mean. Again, and it's an okay song. I wouldn't really say any of the songs on here are bad. It's just a lot of the stuff on here for me is just kind of just okay, especially with this song. Kind of just okay, kind of average. Nothing bad, nothing offensive. Just kind of just again just okay. But let's go ahead and move on to the next song, Redemption, and I like the light guitar in this song. It kind of reminded me of the light guitar or acoustic from their song Nothing to Lose But You from their last album, Outsider. And I think this is actually one of the better songs on the album. I wouldn't say that I love it, but overall I do like it though. Lyrically, it sounds like it could be dealing with loss and trying to reach out in order to get out of a rut. And overall, again, not a bad song. For me, one of the better songs on the album. But next we have the song Champion, and I'll admit the intro had me worried a little bit. With the heart of a, soul of a, if I'm getting the lines right. The intro kind of had me worried that this song might sound a little bit corny or come off as a little bit cheesy or kind of sound like a wannabe attempt to try to have a song in some kind of boxing movie or something like that. It's just, but I actually ended up liking this song. I ended up digging this song. I especially dug the chorus. But yeah, the song kind of feels anthemic in a way. I mean, the only thing that I'm not really feeling with this song is when Matt Walsh is doing the heart of a, soul of a, mind of a. When he's delivering those lines, I'm just not really feeling it at all. It's just not really doing it for me. But the rest of the song, for me, I'm actually kind of digging. But next we have Chain of Abuse, and lyrically, definitely deals with a bit of a serious topic. Sounds like it could maybe lyrically dealing with bullying or feeling like everyone's against you, and it can definitely be a relatable song for many people. But yeah, this might be another favorite of mine on the album. I mean, for me, you can definitely feel the emotion, not just from Matt Walsh's vocals, but also just from the music itself. For me, one of the more powerful, more interesting songs on the album, I'd say. But yeah, Chain of Abuse, pretty good song, I'd say. But next we have Someone to Talk To featuring Apocalyptica. I'll be honest, the only Apocalyptica song that I'm familiar with is I Don't Care, which of course features Adam Gontier. And I actually haven't heard that song in a long while. I think I heard that song maybe a week ago, like at work or something, which was a pleasant surprise because someone at my work was playing the radio or something. But anyways, Someone to Talk To. I might get some flack for this, but I think this might be one of the weaker songs on the album for me. It's just, for me, it's fine. I mean, especially one thing I'll say about this album is that I think Matt Walsh vocally sounds pretty good from front to back on this album, and I still believe that Matt Walsh is vocally getting better with each album, and I think he sounds pretty dang good in this album, and I think he sounds pretty good in Someone to Talk To also. When he's just straight up singing or doing the more emotional singing or however you want to put it, I think vocally he sounds pretty good. But for me, his vocals don't do enough to make me want to return to some of the songs on here, Someone to Talk To being one of those songs. For me, it was kind of just okay overall. But then we get to the album closer, Explosions. Really dug the chorus, but honestly, most of the song was kind of forgettable for me. Again, really dug the chorus. The chorus is really the only thing that kind of stuck with me from this song. The rest of the song kind of felt like typical 3 Days Grace. Like, when it comes to the verses, it kind of just sounded like more of the same, more of what we've heard already in the album, or even from previous albums maybe. But yeah, for me, Explosions, kind of a so-so album closer for me. But again, pretty good chorus, I'd say. So yeah, overall this album, kind of a mixed bag for me. This might be one of their weaker albums, in my opinion. I mean, and going into this album, my expectations weren't very high. I mean, I thought the singles were okay, but I wouldn't say that the singles got me hyped enough to have high expectations, you could say. But yeah, overall, again, the album it's all right. I wouldn't say really anything on the album is straight up bad or anything. It's just that a lot of the album for me is kind of just average to okay. And a few moments that I would say that are great. Scar is Born, I think, is a great song, to be honest. I think, again, maybe my favorite song on here. But if I had to give this album a rating, I might give it a 7 out of 10. And of course, my rating could change at any time. But as of now, I'm probably going to have to go with a 7 out of 10 or a 7.5. But anyways, let me know your thoughts on the album. Do you think I was too harsh, or do you agree with my thoughts? Are you loving the album, or are you hating it, or are you more towards the middle, kind of like with me, where you think it's just okay? And let me know some of your favorite or least favorite songs in here and all that good stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and like, subscribe. Have a nice day and take care.